And now, a short object lesson with Walter the Worm.
Hey kids, it's Walter. One thing you may have heard a lot about these past 2 years is the COVID pandemic. COVID is a virus that can spread through tiny droplets in the air between people who are close to one another when they cough, sneeze, talk, or sing. Some people who have weaker immune systems than others might not react so nicely to COVID, which is why we sometimes spread far apart or wear masks when we're close to one another or indoors. The symptoms or signs of having COVID are sometimes very similar to the symptoms of other illnesses like the flu or a cold. Sometimes you might not show any sign that you have COVID at all. This is why people will take a COVID test. A COVID test will let you know whether or not you have COVID by comparing samples of your saliva or snot to samples of the virus. When the samples match, you can be pretty sure you have COVID and you can take precautions to protect those around you. So what can a COVID test teach us about God? Well, the Bible tells us in 1 Thessalonians 5:21, "Prove all things, hold fast to that which is good." This means that when we hear something about God, we need to make sure it is true and correct. The Bible is our test the same way a COVID test can tell us whether we have COVID or not. The Bible will never contradict itself, so when we compare what we hear to the Bible, it ought to match. So whatever you hear, even if it sounds like it might be true, always make sure to test, test, test. That's all for today, kids. Have a great Sabbath, and don't forget to live to bless others.
This has been a short object lesson with Walter the Worm.